Welcome to Car Talks, where we talk everything about car. This might be the best BYD to date. Before we talk about the car, let's talk about the brand, BYD, or Build Your Dreams. This manufacturer founded in 2003, which is way younger than me. After 23 years, from counterfeiting, it's a very heavy word to use, counterfeiting, but nonetheless it's fact. From counterfeiting Toyota Corolla by building BYD F3 until now, 23 years later, they are able to build something like this. A high-performance electric sedan that can compete with the best EV at the moment, Tesla Model 3. Ever since BYD debuted this high-performance sports sedan EV in 2022, it quickly received good critics from all the automotive media. Since then, it has quickly gained sales around the world, with averaging 30,000 to 40,000 per year. At the moment, according to the latest statistics, there's more than 3,000 units of BYD Seal roaming around in Malaysia. Let's not forget that BYD Seal is also the only Chinese EV at the moment that are nominated in Japan Car of the Year 2024. Of course, they are not being selected as the Japan Car of the Year, but hey, it's Japanese that nominate this car into their nominee for Japan Car of the Year. That is something quite impressive. Let's talk about the design. It's a handsome looking sedan, isn't it? This BYD Seal, as per our previous review for the Sea Lion, is penned by the same designer, Wolfgang Edgar. So I have already introduced about his resume in our previous review. In case you did not watch our previous video, you can watch it here. And in case you are not interested, yes, he is an ex-Audi designer that are in charge of various famous car models. One of it will be the Audi R8. So look at the design. It's striking, sporty, and well proportioned. For me personally, I feel like this car is way better looking compared to the BYD Sea Lion because of the proportion. Just look at the proportion. It's low slung, sporty, aggressive, which got me thinking. I think BYD make a small error in their naming strategy. They are very keen on using the word sea. So it's Sea Lion, Seal, whatnot, blah blah blah, yada yada. But instead of Seal, I think this actually looks like a killer whale or orca. There's a few key design features that I find BYD Seal very interesting about. First thing first is the DRL here, which I think it's able to mimic the sea organism quite well. It looks like something they get out from the Avatar, the way of life or way of river or way of water, I don't know. I think you guys know what I'm talking about here. So very nice design touch. The next is the rim. So for BYD Seal in Malaysia, it comes with 3 different variants. We have the dynamic, we have the premium, and this, the performance. So this, of course, being the top of the line performance version, it comes with a bigger rims that look like a shuriken, a diamond cut shuriken build. One good thing about the car also is the offset. It managed to flush the offset quite well. Next is this. If you look closely here, you will thought this is actually an intake grill or intake vent for the battery, but no, it's actually just a design touch that looks similar to a shark grill. You know, the grill on the shark. Grill or gill? I think it's gill, G-I-L-L. Next is the butt here. So this is actually a key design feature for most of the BYD Evo Platform 3.0 product. For example, the Sea Lion and this Seal. So why is this so important? Because it's able to create a bulging rear end that enhances the car for aggressive stance. For cars that are marketed for being sporty, I think this is very important. One of the signature line on the side profile of this BYD Seal is this. This signature line that flows down and it actually merges with another signature line that starts from here all the way merge to the fat and take rear end C-pillar here, the rear fender. Look at the side profile of this vehicle. Do you think it's a sedan or do you think it's a sportback? Technically speaking, this is a sedan because the boot lifts up without the rear view mirror. But just look at the proportion, especially the short boot. It does remind me of the sportback from the early 2000s. For example, the RS3, the RS4. Overall, it's quite a handsome looking car, isn't it? With short overhang at the front. Yeah. If you look closely to the butt of the car, or should I say backside for a more appropriate wording, you will notice the tail boot lid here. It actually have a ductile spoiler sculpture, and you will notice there's a lot of diffusers and air vents down here. I think it's for the aerodynamic purposes. And the signature water droplet tail lamp with BYD engraving inside. This is actually a signature piece for all the Evo Platform 3.0 product. Oh yeah, and also look at this. Same like the Sea Lion, it has a engraving here that proudly show off the acceleration of the car. 3.8 seconds. Yes, this is a sub 4 second 0 to 100 acceleration EV performance sedan, a sports sedan. The BYD Seal Performance uses a 235/45 R19 tires, but if I ask you, a supercar killer, a Godzilla GTR 35 uses eco-friendly tires, we will be afraid. For me, I will be very, very afraid. That's the case with this BYD Seal Performance because it uses Continental Eco Contact tires. Despite it has the same exact horsepower and the torque figures and the acceleration of supercars. Why? I do not know. But what you can see is the tires, the questionable tire choices, and the beautiful shuriken design rim. What you can't see is a suspension design. Surprise, surprise. This BYD Seal Performance uses a front double wishbone and rear multi-link setup. And that explains why this car is a very good car to be driven in. This BYD Seal Performance uses a dual motor setup. However, with slightly different output. The front motor produces 215 horsepower and 310 Nm of torque. The rear motor produces 308 horsepower and 340 Nm of torque. The combined output of this vehicle is 523 horsepower with 670 Nm of torque. So what does this figures about? What those figures meant? Long story short, those figures are very identical to some of the super sports car that you and me know about. For example, the GTR 35 or even the Porsche 911 Turbo, or some of the old Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Yes, this car have the firepower of all those supercar and supercar killer. What it has is the horsepower and the torque of supercars. What it doesn't have is the lightweight structure of those supercars and sports cars. So if you look closely to the table that we have generated here, this car has the worst power to weight ratio. But that doesn't stop it from being one of the fastest acceleration vehicle in the market right now, with the least money you need to pay. We are in an era where EV brought supercar power for normal continental car money. So is that a scary thing? Yeah, somewhat. This car weighs 2,185 kg, plus minus you can understand it as 2.2 tons. And it equipped with the famous BYD Blade battery, the LFP battery, that has 82.5 kilowatt-hour of capacity. Under the WLTP standard, it can go up to 520 kilometers, which is slightly less than the premium variant, because premium variant only have one rear motor and this has two motors that uses the same battery, which is the 82 kilowatt-hour battery. Enough about the exterior, let's now talk about the interior. This car does come with a comfort ingress and egress function. When you open the door, the seat will slightly remove to the back, so it's easier for you to access the car. Okay, of course the steering will not adjust because steering is still mechanical two-way adjustable. It's not electrical, so it will not have easy access for this steering, but the seat does have that easy access function. Contrary to what I believe on, or should I say my understanding, My understanding is BYD will share most of the components across the same platform. So as you know, this vehicle is built from Evo Platform 3.0. So I thought most of the stuff that you see here will be same with the BYD Sea Lion, but no, I'm wrong. Why? Okay, first look at the steering wheel. The steering wheel is different compared to the Sea Lion and also other Dolphin family. For example, the Atto and the Dolphin. Why? It's more chunkier and it's more sporty with a lot of physical buttons here and here. So that might be because of this the Seal is the first Evo Platform 3.0 product. That might be because of that. So why is this important? It's because this car is a driver-oriented performance sport EV. So the steering is chunky and it's nice to hold with a flat bottom design. And other than that, what's more surprising for me is the seat. You look at the seat, you might thought it's a typical comfortable sofa seat, but no, it's actually quite supportive with a very big side support here and the elbow support here. Okay, and it's also come with a lot of adjustability. So one of them is the lumbar support where it can adjust up or down. Other than that, everything is good old buttoned. So I do not know why, even though it's the same BYD brand vehicle, but BYD Seal, it's more easy to use in my opinion. The button are straightforward laid out, the volume and the entertainment, infotainment is on right hand side, the ADAS is on left hand side. Nothing fancy. If you would like to change the driving mode, you can change it from here. And if you would like to adjust the volume, you can just scroll this button. So everything is just quite straightforward, which is quite surprising. The party piece, as usual, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, 2 wireless key charger, and a lot of cubby holes. Here got a big cubby hole with USB chargers here, one big drawer here, and surprise, surprise, they even have a coin box here, which is not found in the Atto 3 and the Dolphin. Which means that this car, they do a proper right-hand drive conversion. Yep, and then the glove box. So one thing that are quite impressive in this vehicle is the material choice. So what you can see, it's mostly combination of sweat material, ultra sweat material, plastic, as usual, and leather. So you can see this some white color stitchings and leathers here. So it actually feels quite sporty in a sense. As I have just introduced the material, the ergonomics, and the easy in, easy out of the vehicle, what more do you need to know about the BYD Seal cockpit? So first thing first, do you notice the difference between this layout compared to other BYD vehicles? For me, I always think that BYD is quite somewhat flawed in terms of the UI, which is the user interface design, whereby things can get rather confusing because of the fonts, the way they put their layout, the wordings, whatnot. But for this vehicle only, not all BYD, just for this only, you will notice everything is laid out in a very simple and clean manner. Okay, for example, the speed and the power output is a very big number here. There's no way you will miss it out, the remaining percentage. And you have a very nice and crisp HUD in front, which is very important because this car accelerates too fast. You will see the number become a blur, and all in a sudden it's enough for you to get enough summons and speeding tickets that will ensure your license get cancelled by JPJ. So yeah, other than that, I think that this particular vehicle, the BYD Seal, able to solve most of the shortcomings for other BYD vehicles, the UI and the ease of use. So the best thing about BYD Seal is its short learning curve compared to its competitor. So needless to say, for BYD Seal Performance, the competitor is actually Tesla Model 3P, the most direct competitor, Model 3 Performance. Why? You can see this, all traditional stocks. If you have a chance to view Tesla in the showroom, you will notice that Tesla prefer to integrate everything into the steering for the signal stocks and whatnot, which actually take a painstaking, take a very long learning curve to get used with. But for BYD, it actually remains as traditional vehicle where the signal stalk is here and the wiper is here, the gear knob is here, and it's quite easy to use. Just press on the brake pedal, pull for drive and push for reverse. Everything is straightforward and easy to use. Then let's say if you would like to use the 360 camera, you have a shortcut button here. Yes, so you will notice that for BYD Seal Performance, it's quite user-friendly, and the user interface is also quite nice and crisp, which is quite surprising given all the other BYD vehicles that I have test drive include the same platform, Sea Lion 7. So what kind of toys that you will get in the BYD Seal Performance? So as you can see, it's quite a lot. You can get a very long spec sheet. The first thing first you can see is the Dyna Audio logo here. This car does come with a Dyna Audio sound system. If you go to the vehicle setting, there's different scenario that you can choose in the Dyna Audio sounds. So for example, acoustic, dynamic, soft, speech, whatnot. Next, you will get the wireless Apple CarPlay and Auto as usual. You will also get the not one, but two wireless key charger. You will also get the full suite of ADAS, which all the Chinese vehicle are famously known about. Okay, but as you can see, it's also still quite BYD, whereby everything is just on and off. Oh, see, yeah, I just summoned the high BYD thingy. Oh no. So you can see the lane support system, traffic sign recognition, everything. You can set it here. But again, it's a BYD, so it's only on and off. It's not like Tesla where you can fine tune it. They also come with parking assist. The difference between this and the newer Sea Lion 7 is the driver monitor system here, where it does not have a lens here. But other than that, everything is quite comprehensive and well equipped. Seal Performance also comes with a ventilated seat and heated seat. Of course, in Malaysia, you would not need the heated seat, but the ventilated seat would be a very nice touch, especially in our hot and sunny weather. For a sedan, the rear space is surprisingly spacious. So as you can see, I am 180 cm tall and 100 kg weight, and I sit just fine here. It's rather cozy. So one fist for my driving position and one fist for my headroom. So it's okay with an armrest here and two cup holder for this part. Actually, the Sea Lion is more well equipped with a fancy cup holder and compartment. For this is just a plastic cup holder here, nothing much, and aircon vent, coin box, and oh no, this is power socket, and that's all. One thing I noticed is the under seat. There's not much space for me to put my foot in, and the floor pan is slightly high. But again, this is EV, so this is a very common design feature for the electric vehicle. This is where they store the battery anyway. So if you are a family man, don't worry, this car will just serve your family fine. But if you insist you need more space, just go for the Sea Lion. In terms of practicality, you do not need to worry about the cabin space. I think the cabin works just fine for 4 to 5 full-grown adults. However, in terms of the luggage space, there is a small concern. Let me show you. Because of the sporty sportback design, it actually caused this boot lid opening to be smaller than usual. Automatic boot. So do you see the opening of the boot? It's smaller than usual. So this might become a small roadblock for those who need to carry a lot of large luggage. So you can see the opening is not big, just enough. Okay, but the depth is okay, and it comes with a hidden compartment here, usually for you to store your spare tire repair kits and the V2L charger or the emergency AC charger. The subwoofer of Dyna Audio is right here. Okay, in case this boot space is not enough for you, you will get a small compartment in front. In the front, I've got a hydraulic strut here. It's a small emergency luggage space. It's not even a luggage space, just a compartment for you to keep stuff. Maybe you need something, you tap out some wet food, or you go to the pasar, you buy your seafood and you do not want to make your car stinks. Good space to store those items. Yeah, it looks like an engine cover though. So as I have introduced in the beginning of this video, this might be the best BYD ever. So why would I make such bold statement?
because BYD or any other Chinese vehicle are not known for make driver-oriented vehicle. Let it be BYD or other such as Zeekr or GSC, you name it. They are not really keen on making cars that are enjoyable to drive, but they are keen on making cars that are more high-tech, comfortable. But for this vehicle, it's very surprising from the beginning. So I was not having a high expectation, but the moment I drive the car, I noticed this BYD Seal does come with a very quick ratio steering. So as you can see, the car actually feel quite nimble despite its 2,200 kg of weight. I think it's because of the center of gravity is low and you sit low as compared to the SUV cousins. The suspension is supple. It's comfortable enough in most conditions except some specific road condition where it can feel a little bit trashy. So there's just some rough edges to be refined. But other than that, this car it's surprisingly nice to drive. As a BYD, as an EV, it somewhat reminds me of those 3 Series. It's a very bold statement. Why is that so? Okay, first thing first, you can feel the vehicle movement via your seat. So, which means that the suspension provides a very good feedback. Steering, not much feel, but it's quick ratio. So the car gives a very nimble handling sensation. The brake, it's not directly connected to the caliper because of the regen. Talking about regen, this vehicle does come with 2 settings of regen, sport or normal, but it does not have the 1 pedal operation, which is a good job, which is a good thing. Most of us actually are unable to get used with the regen thingy. So when you step on the brake, the initial bite is actually generated by the regen motor. It will try to capture the car. The feeling of it is just like you downshift in normal vehicle. It downshift a few gears so the car will drag itself. And when the deeper you step on the brake pedal, the more it feels like the brake caliper begin to bite. So I hate to say it, but it seems like this vehicle does have a very good driver and car communication. Sounds weird, right? I can't believe it at first, but the more I drive it, the more I feel like, yes, this car, only this among all the BYD vehicles are able to achieve this. So the handling is nimble and the power is with control. Let's not forget about that. This car does have the horsepower, and I mean not just horsepower, the performance of GTR 35 and other similar hypercar. But it feels everything under control. So like now 3, 2, 1, and everything is just under control. You can trash the car, no, I wouldn't say trash, but you can drive it spiritedly. The only thing that are lacking from the car is engine noise for those who are pure petrol head. But in terms of the chassis feedback, it's good enough. The only thing lacking is just the engine note, and I hope the steering is a little bit more feedback. Let's not forget the front suspension is double wishbone, and you can feel it by the centering of the steering wheel. It's quicker, it's more natural, and in the corner it's provide enough sufficient feedback where you can perform your mid-corner correction well enough. So I really don't want to say this, it's my own personal opinion. I do have very strong stereotype on Chinese vehicle, but for this, it's one of the few that I'm able to break the stereotype. It's actually legitimately nice to drive, and it reminds me of BMW i4, which is a very nice price, and it actually makes you question why you need to spend that extra money for a Tesla Model 3. Why you need the Tesla Model 3 anyway? This is a nicer car to drive. Whee! This car does come with 3 power modes. Okay, the first one will be the Eco, the second will be the Standard, and third one will be the Sport. So what's the difference between these 3 power modes? It's actually the speed, or should I say how the program is written to dump the torque. So Eco is actually good enough, and it's not slow at all, it's not eco at all, it's just the speed on how fast the electric motor spins up and release the torque. Of course, Sport will be the most aggressive one. Standard will be okay, and you will notice it by the left hand side of speedometer. It actually shows how many kilowatt the output is, you will notice that in standard, it will release about 160, 170. In sport, it will release all about close to 280, 300. It's quite fast. Okay, there's a few key things that you need to pay attention when you are driving BYD Seal. So first thing first, you need to remember, and should I say, you need to keep on reminding yourself that this car is running on eco tires. On dry road, okay, on hot weather like this, it's okay to have some fun. Granted, you'll remember that your car is on eco tires, so don't overdo it. This car is very great at creating an illusion. What kind of illusion I'm saying? Okay, the illusion is you are actually driving a 2.2 ton vehicle, whereby the law of physics applies. However, when you are driving this car, it doesn't feel like a 2.2 ton vehicle most of the time. By most of the time means when you turn the steering wheel, do you feel like it's a 2.2 ton vehicle? Not much, doesn't feel like it. When you accelerate, do you feel like a 2.2 ton vehicle? No, it feels literally quick, as if you are in a bullet train. But when you brake, does it feel like a 2.2 ton vehicle? Actually, not really. But the moment that you exceed the tire grip, that's the moment where you feel 2.2 ton. If you are aiming for an EV that are fun to drive and you have made your decision to explore the potential of BYD Seal Performance, just be careful, and if possible, change a proper set of tire before you begin some hoonigan action on the car. Or else, just practice some discipline on your right foot. Okay, if not, sorry to be vulgar, but will happen. The car itself is okay. You as the driver able to feel everything under control. It's just the tires that are quite concerning. The car itself is alrighty. Okay.
Back then, when Japanese learning to build cars, they are able to produce cars that are cheaper, more affordable, better quality, higher performance compared to the American cars and the European cars. History is uncannily similar with Chinese automobiles. Back in 2012, Tesla releases their second EV model, which is the Tesla Model S, that are selling for continental car money, yet provide supercar performance. Now, when BYD enter the game, they are able to create something that are way cheaper compared to Tesla Model 3, yet provide similar performance. Imagine, this car is selling cheaper than a BMW 1 Series, yet provide you a performance that are almost similar to a M3C, M3 competition. The only thing that are lacking of is the top speed. The BYD Seal top speed is capped at 180 km per hour. After this BYD Seal launches in 2022, there are other stronger competitor emerges in China market. For example, the infamous Zeekr 001 FR, which is co-developed with the infamous F1 driver, ex-F1 driver now, Kimi Raikkonen, or the Xiaomi SU7 and the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, which look uncannily similar to Porsche Taycan. So, is this car for you? You need to ask yourself if you are able to accept charging, or do you have the charging facility at home? Or are you really keen on engine sound, engine noise? Are you the kind of person that need to drive with engine vibrates, with the engine notes? If you have the charging facility, if you don't mind this car does not have an engine noise, yet you are into the EV tribe, you are okay with the concept of EV, this is a very surprisingly fun to drive, enjoyable drive sedan. So what will China automotive makers bring to us in future? It's an exciting time to be seen. We are actually witnessing a revolution in the current automotive scene. If you like what we are doing, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our video, our channel. If you have any comment, feel free to leave a comment below to know what you think about the video. We also have a website and Instagram to be followed. Thank you. See you on the next video.